Greetings, IndyCar enjoyers, and welcome to the inaugural Arlington Grand Prix. The IndyCar series return to the Texas state begins with Ericsson hanging on to the lead while Palou starts moving through the field. Palou is currently running in second. So far, no cautions. Ericsson's lead is starting to shrink, so yeah, he's in danger of Palou overtaking him. As is the case with most other drivers because Palou is really fast except when he's battling the second-rate Andretti driver, Kyle Kirkwood. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but Kyle Kirkwood is no Colton Herta or Will Power. Colton Herta was the most popular Andretti Global driver before he went to Formula 2. And now Will Power is taking his place, and he's the most popular Andretti Global driver because of his, well, previous tenure at Penske, and now Penske has David Malukas driving his car. It's a rabbit hole, man. Dixon and Simpson make their pit stops, and Simpson gets penalized for an unsafe release. Dang it! Kirkwood also makes his pit stop. Next to come down to pit road is Power Ward. Will Power has issues on pit road as one of the wheel nuts came loose. Dang it! Alex Palou and Marcus Ericsson pit in at the same time, and Palou's masterful pit crew helped him win the race off of pit road. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's why Palou is the master of IndyCar, and why Kirkwood is probably one of his biggest threats. Malukas comes down to pit road. Rosenqvist is now in the lead, until, yep, you guessed it, he too pits in. The other Penske drivers then make their pit stops. As expected, Will Power makes his pit stop, but Louis Foster nearly blocked him. Phew. We were so close to having a yellow flag. Palou's lead gap increases. We also see an interview with one of the pit crew members, which is rare for IndyCar, especially when pit crew interviews aren't usually a big priority here. Yeah, you see them a lot in NASCAR, but not in IndyCar. Yeah, in IndyCar, pit crew members are not really mentioned by name. And you basically have to look them up if you want to know more about them. Yeah. Ericsson makes his pit stop, and he has issues again. Man, loose lugs seem to be a thing for Andretti Global, probably because of the Texas heat. Palou is next to come down to pit road, and Ward joins in alongside him. Dixon is right behind Rob and struggling to get past him. Man, he is not having any luck this year. Rosenqvist is currently in the lead. Here we go. Rosenqvist makes his pit stop, and Will Power stays out as he attempts the Verstappen strat. Yeah, I know, a lot of drivers do that, but I always like to call it the Verstappen strat because of tire management playing a role here, and it's usually when drivers stay out for a really long time and manage their tires. That's why I call it the Verstappen strat. It's what Max Verstappen is usually good at doing. Foster tries getting past Ericsson as he is struggling on the hard tires. Kirkwood is hunting down Lundgaard, and Mick Schumacher loses control, but no yellow flag is flown. He nearly got into Newgarden. Kirkwood manages to get past Lundgaard for third. Palou keeps getting faster and faster, and Power is in danger of losing the lead to the best IndyCar driver right now. Power makes his pit stop while Palou stays out. Kirkwood is trying to cut Palou's lead gap, although it's tricky to do so as he is known to be very fast. Yep. Alex Palou also makes his pit stop, and like before, no adjustments are needed. And yeah, he's usually happy with his car, because Alex Palou is just masterful at what he does. His racecraft is excellent, and it makes you wonder why he hasn't considered getting a Formula 1 super license yet, considering how great he is, and he would definitely kill it with the Cadillac car. He would be great in the Caddy car. Yeah, why not bring Alex Palou over to Cadillac? It'd be great to see. But he might need a 6th championship like Scott Dixon, though. He beats everyone on pit road again. Man, Palou's pit crew is just unstoppable. He even stays ahead of Will Power. Power nearly hits the barrier, and he had to let Malukas by. Ironically enough, he is getting overtaken by his former car. Yeah, the number 12 car used to be driven by him. Kirkwood and Palou battle for the lead, as Kirkwood, of course, gets closer by. Both drivers use push to pass at the same time. Kirkwood drives past Palou for the lead. Wait, what? And it was risky, by the way. I honestly had no idea how freaking Kyle Kirkwood did that. I'm I'm just glad that Alex Palou didn't crash out like last time. I'm glad they finished the race. Dixon comes down to pit road. Even though it is mentioned that Kirkwood might make a 4th pit stop, he hasn't done so even with 7 to go because, again, he's doing the Verstappen strats. He's managing his tires. Kirkwood gets caught up in lap traffic. Kirkwood still hasn't made his fourth pit stop because, again, Verstappen strat. And this is one time where I actually wanted him to make a 4th stop. Yeah, I wanted Palou to win. You can tell that I'm more of an Alex Palou fanboy than a Kyle Kirkwood fanboy. Although, seeing him win is not bad, but I want to see Palou win. I want to see the Spaniard in victory lane. And Rasmussen got into the wall, and that means the race gets yellow flagged. Good call. That could change the outcome of the race. Here we go. The race restarts at the battle between Palou and the second-rate Andretti driver, aka Kyle Kirkwood. Even if he's good at street courses, yeah, even if Kyle Kirkwood's good at street courses, he will never ever reach the same level of popularity and skill as Colton Herta. Yeah, Colton Herta is the best Andretti driver aside from Will Power. Another yellow suddenly came out, and that means the race ended under yellow. We see Dennis Hauger end up in an accident with Nolan Siegel. Seriously, just get Nolan Siegel out of the freaking car. Yeah, he's like, well, Lance Stroll, but just without the family connection. Yeah, just get a different driver like Linus, the guy who was going to fill in for him at Toronto when Nolan Siegel got injured. Because of that race-killing yellow, the race gets a 7 out of 10. It was getting good until that happened. At least in Toronto, it was made better by the fact it was a much better track, and I also got to see the race live. Yeah, in Toronto, that's usually to be expected, but at Arlington, it kind of kills the race. And Arlington is a new track, by the way. You see, this is the reason why I want IndyCar to go back to either Texas Motor Speedway or COTA. Because the Arlington Grand Prix, the inaugural Arlington Grand Prix, in my opinion, it didn't have a good first impression. The race was good, don't get me wrong, but it was killed by a late yellow. And it's not the late yellow that I wanted either. Man, no one, not even the second-rate Andretti driver, Kyle Kirkwood, wants to win under a caution. But anyways, it's time to sign off. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, then you know what to do. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell just in case I haven't already done so. Catch you guys next time, and peace out. Greetings, F1 enjoyers, and welcome to this year's Chinese Grand Prix sprint race, where I had to sleep at the same time as people from the military due to whack time zones in China. But anyways, this year's Chinese Grand Prix sprint race begins with the usual formation lap to get to the grid and George Russell jumping to the lead. Hamilton is in second, as expected. I also forgot to mention that Albon and Sainz start the race in pit lane. Holy crapper! Hamilton gets past Russell for the lead. Russell fights back and gets the lead. Hamilton gets the lead back again. Yeah, as expected. And it's always exciting to see. I mean, so far, I'm liking the race quality of these 2026 regs. Yeah, they have a lot of problems, don't get me wrong, especially when it comes to energy starvation, how much things are fundamentally broken about them, but when the cars race, they race good. The good news is that at least you can overtake in the 2026 cars, which is more than what could be said for the highly praised V10 cars that a lot of people won't shut up about. Seriously, I need to actually make a video about why the V10 cars aren't as good as a lot of people remember. But don't get me wrong, they're still good. They're not perfect. They're not perfect. And I got the idea from failed racers about making a video debunking on why Group B cars aren't as good as people remember. Antonelli jumps up to 6. Russell attempts to overtake Hamilton, but isn't able to do so. Hadjar and Antonelli both get noted by the stewards for causing a collision. Uh-oh. This is not good. Russell gets the lead back from Hamilton. Man, he is determined to win. Hamilton gets the lead back again. Be careful, because you might have wasted some of that energy from the battery itself, and yeah, you do actually need to increase a bit of the megajoules for the batteries to be manageable. Antonelli gets past Piastri. Russell is on the attack and gets back to the lead. Leclerc tries getting past Hamilton but isn't able to do it. Antonelli manages to get past Oscar Piastri and is now in 5th. Ah, crap. Antonelli got a 10-second penalty handed to him for causing a collision. Holy crapper, Leclerc got past Hamilton and is now in 2nd, though Hamilton is not slowing down and tried to get past him. He nearly avoided disaster. Shoot. Antonelli is right behind Hamilton and tried to get past him. Here we go. Antonelli managed to get past Hamilton, but he still has that penalty. Lindblad is now out of the race. Dang it! George Russell continues to lead. Bottas comes down to pit road, and the race gets yellow flagged right when Bottas stalled. Yeah, when the car runs out of battery, you're pretty much SOL with the 2026 cars. Keep in mind, the regulations are still new, and there's going to be things that are fundamentally broken about the new regs. I mean, look at the NASCAR Next Gen cars. They're pretty much a beta test in the year 2022, but they've gotten better over time. Antonelli gets past Leclerc, and we once again have the Mercedes 1-2. The safety car had to get deployed, but anyways. Several drivers come down to pit road during the safety car period, and Antonelli fell back due to a slower than usual pit stop. Hulkenberg is now out of the race. Ah, crap. Perez, aka Chico, gets noted by the stewards for a safety car infringement. Again, the safety car period ends and the race restarts with Russell hanging on to the lead. Lawson is tailing Hamilton and could pass him anytime. Overtake is enabled and Hamilton gets past Norris. Chico gets a penalty thrown at him. Dang it! On the final lap, all George Russell has to do is not make any hilarious mistakes or let Leclerc get past him. Just like that, George Russell wins the 2026 sprint race at Shanghai. The Chinese Grand Prix sprint race, aka the sprint race at Shanghai, gets a 9 out of 10. It was great, and I look forward to the main race. Not much else to say here, but anyways, it's time to sign off. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, then you know what to do. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell just in case I haven't already done so. Catch you guys next time, and peace out. Greetings, F1 enjoyers, and here we are. We're at the main event, where Kimi Antonelli is on pole. Yeah, he's now the youngest pole sitter in F1 history. Oh, what a world we live in now. A few teams also have issues with their cars before the race would even start, which is to be expected with the 2026 cars due to lack of spare parts. This also means that McLaren is a no-show as they have issues with both Norris's and Piastri's cars. Oh my goodness, this is awful! Yeah, it's bad for McLaren. They're both a double DNF before the race would even start. I mean, this is way worse than Scotty Mack crashing out on the parade lap in last year's Indy 500. At least he was kinda in the race, but here, not a wheel turned. But anyways, this year's Chinese Grand Prix begins with the usual formation lap to get to the grid, and Kimi Antonelli trying to hang on to the lead. But Hamilton got past him. A brief yellow was thrown as Chico had contact, and Isaac Hadjar spins out and loses control. Hadjar was also forced to box because of this. Antonelli gets past Hamilton, but Hamilton will defend. George Russell has the fastest lap of the race. Russell gets past Hamilton for second, which means it's another Mercedes 1-2. Keep in mind, the V10 regs were no better for this as Ferrari was known to dominate in 2004. Colapinto is currently running in 6th. Verstappen is now struggling to get past the two Racing Bulls cars. Lawson also gets past Lindblad. Verstappen, Sainz, and Lawson are the first drivers to come down to pit road. Gasly and Leclerc are next to come down to pit road. And the safety car just got deployed, meaning that the race got yellow flagged. Hadjar is the next driver to pit in under the safety car. Even the Mercedes drivers make their pit stops during the safety car period. Lance Stroll caused the yellow flag as he stalled out. Not good for the only Canadian driver on the grid right now. This means that he is out of the race. Yep. Just hope that he can finish a race sometime. This isn't good even for Lance Stroll. The safety car period has ended and the race restarts with Antonelli continuing to lead. Colapinto and Ocon are in second and third, and Hamilton struggles to get past them, which is pretty bad as he's behind two midfielders. He managed to get past Ocon, but Colapinto is a different story. Colapinto holds him off despite being in the slower cars. Hamilton managed to get past him. Leclerc gets past Colapinto and is now in third, just when Verstappen gets past Lindblad. The race gets yellow flagged for debris. It is a short yellow as it ends as soon as it appears. Albon is out of the race due to electrical issues. Another one. Colapinto and Ocon battle for fifth. Ocon gets noted by the stewards for dangerous braking. Ocon attempts to get past, but Colapinto defends, and Gasly also tries to sneak past. But even he isn't able to do it. Behrman, however, is not able to sneak by. Still miss Kevin Magnussen. Oliver Behrman's a nobody. I want Kevin Magnussen to go back to that seat. Oh well, at least he's in IMSA. That's good. Leclerc holds off Russell, who tried to get past him. Contact ensues with Colapinto and Verstappen when Verstappen tries to get past him. Verstappen is now in sixth and has no McLarens to hold him off this time around. Lindblad gets noted by the stewards for causing a collision. Leclerc and Hamilton battle for second, and George Russell is right behind them. Hamilton gets second back from Leclerc, but Leclerc fights back and gets second back from his teammate. Hamilton tries to get past him, but Leclerc holds him off. Hamilton gets past Leclerc again. Russell gets past Hamilton, and Leclerc is back in second. I mean, back and forth, am I right? Holy crapper! This is getting intense. So worth losing sleep over. And Lindblad spins out and causes a brief yellow. Antonelli continues to lead while Leclerc and Russell battle for second. Here we go. George Russell gets past Charles Leclerc and Mercedes is back 1-2. Leclerc and Hamilton battle for third. And the race gets yellow flagged again when Ocon and Colapinto get into each other. Ocon and Colapinto get noted by the stewards for causing a collision. Alonso also retired out of the race. Hamilton gets past Leclerc despite having power issues. Leclerc tries to get third back, but Hamilton defends. Ocon gets penalized for causing a collision with Colapinto. Dang it! Leclerc gets past Hamilton and his teammate tries fighting back, which he manages to do so. Russell gets held up by lap traffic, and both Cadillac drivers go a lap down. Lindblad comes down to pit road. Verstappen is having issues with his car and he's out of the race. Dang, I cannot believe this had to happen to him. This is a truly huge L for the best driver in F1 right now. Thankfully, no yellow is thrown. We lost 6 drivers in this race. Ocon comes down to pit road to serve his penalty. Sainz is in 9th, which is crazy considering that he is racing for Williams. Antonelli laps Colapinto and Sainz. Behrman is in 5th and Lawson is in 7th. Antonelli goes off in the hairpin as he locked up, but he still managed to hang on to the lead, which is crazy. He needs to calm down. On the final lap, all Kimi Antonelli has to do is not make any hilarious mistakes and take home his first win. He nearly slides out, but he still manages to take the win. Holy crapper! Kimi Antonelli just won his first race. Dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria. That is crazy, man. Not even Car Zillage can win in the NASCAR Next Gen car, yet here goes Kimi Antonelli. He just won the Chinese Grand Prix. That is worth it right there. If it wasn't for that, it would get an 8 out of 10 or 7 out of 10. It wasn't nearly as good as the Australian Grand Prix. But it gets a 9 out of 10. And also, it gets a point for Lewis Hamilton's first ever podium finish in a while. Yeah, he finally got a podium finish in a Ferrari. Yeah, it was great to do it, especially when Mother's Day happened in the UK, yada yada yada. I know, Mother's Day is different in the UK as it is in North America. Crazy, isn't it? So yeah, the race had a happy ending, and Kimi Antonelli was also the first Italian driver to win a Grand Prix in 20 years. The last Italian driver to win a race in Formula 1 is Giancarlo Fisichella. That's 20 years ago, man. But anyways, it is time to sign off. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, then you know what to do. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell just in case I haven't already done so. Catch you guys next time, and peace out.